Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Wow, 2 days in a row. Imagine that. 2 days in a row that it was actually good. I'm almost proud of GH at this point. Um, Now with that being said, let's start off with the whole Portia, Trina, Taggart, and Curtis thing. So as Trina's leaving, she opens the door to walk out. She sees Taggart and Curtis. And she starts hugging on Taggart. And, Curtis is like, what's going on? So I'm sitting there thinking, all right, well, Portia's going to sit there and eventually, spill the beans and be like, hey, listen, just let you two know, there's going to be a Maury Povich episode pretty much. But yeah, she just stood there like a deer in the headlights. And Trina was like, yeah, I'm either one of y'all two's daughters at this point. And they both sat there and looked at her. And they started talking for a little bit. And Portia, I'm not Portia, Trina wound up leaving. So Taggart went to go take care of her and comfort her and stuff like that. Meanwhile, Curtis was going in on her. And Portia did exactly what you expect Portia to do. She made excuses. She practically was not there protecting herself, her marriage, and everything like that. And it's exactly what you expected her to do. Oh, I didn't want to sit there and ruin my marriage, and you didn't want to have anything to do with me at the time, and blah, 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 blah. All I'm hearing is excuses, and just generally you want to sit there and protect yourself. And even after all that, which made no sense, Kurt's is like, all right, fine. What about the last 2 years that we're in the same town? Why did you not tell me then? And of course, Portia did what Portia always does, make excuses. So she cried, she played the victim, poor me, woe is me, blah, 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 blah. But no one cares about your tears. No one. Okay? Um, so that happened. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I thought it was a good scene. I thought it was a good scene. It could have been a better scene, but I thought it was a good scene. For the year of 2023. Now, I feel like if this was in the 90s, maybe early 2000s, he would have been a lot more angrier. He would have been raising his voice a lot more. But unfortunately, that's not what we got. So, in some ways, his emotional response was kind of lacking. It was like he was taking more the logical approach rather than taking the emotional approach of, I missed out on possibly my daughter's 19 years on this planet because she wants to sit there and protect the marriage and make a bunch of excuses. So, in some ways, it felt flat. It really did. But I guess for the standards of 2023, it was as good as it was going to get. Um, and while that's going on, you got Ryan. Here's the thing. Somebody was suggesting, I don't remember exactly who it was in the live stream, but somebody was like, why didn't Felicia not just get scared right away? I don't remember if it was Jessica or if it was Nikisha, but somebody was in the chat was like, why wasn't she just alarmed? And when she opened the door, at first she thought it was Kevin. And then Ryan was like, he showed the no hand. He was like, nope, wrong. And then she freaked out. So I think that's what it was. Anyway, he comes in there with the gun. And, he starts tormenting Felicia by saying, oh, I killed your husband, yada, 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 yada. But eventually he does wind up answering the phone because Mac is worried. Mac got picked up by Jordan and Lauren had to answer a bit of questions. They want to take him to the hospital. Mac is worried because now they found out that, it was the guard that Ryan killed. And so now Ryan's on the loose, and that most likely he's going to go after Felicia. So he kept calling the phone, and um, eventually Ryan picked up the phone. And he was all like, hey, listen, I got Felicia or whatever. And if I see any cops, X, Y, and Z. But now there's an issue. He did sit there and start asking about, Nicholas. And she got a little kind of worried because, he was all like, oh, where's that waste of space Nicholas at? Seeing how Nicholas' body's somewhere, I don't think that, she wants him to sit there and start looking around the house. Then he's like, yeah, there's a problem. Um, I can only take one of y'all. Now, at first, I thought it was like it's easier to hold one hostage than it is to hold two. But then you realize that, there's only so much room in the car. So he's like, yeah, one of y'all's going to have to stay. And the other one, well, yeah. Meanwhile, Austin, I guess he came back or whatever, and he overheard people talking. So he starts getting on the phone. I guess he starts like dialing up texting. But then I think Heather comes in the door with the hook. As now, you got Austin down. Yeah, obviously it was Heather with the hook. Because I kept sitting there wondering the whole time. I was like, missing somebody. I think his name starts with an A. Austin, where did he get lost or something? What is he doing? Um, so he comes back towards the end, but of course, you know. Um, while that's going on, you got Anna and Valentine still doing their whole haunting Eileen. Which I'm not gonna lie, it took me a minute to remember her name. But they at some point after Eileen talks to Victor and he's all like, she's all like, oh, I don't want to sit there and do this anymore. And Victor's like, what are you talking about? You have a choice. When did this become a choice? And she was like, no, a lot of people die. I don't want to work with you anymore. And I was like, even I was like, work with you? Oh, what? Do you think this is some sort of partnership or something? So we had to sit there and quickly remind her, like, no, 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 lady, you work for me. There's no we. There's only I. Um, he tells her to pass things out with Laura, which she does when she goes to the hospital. But then she gets a call. Now apparently Valentine has some sort of contact and did something with her phone. So the minute that she used it, they're going to be able to intercept it. And of course, Anna put on her best ghost voice, sit there and haunt her, talking about, oh, you're next, you killed me, you got blood on your hands, this, that, and the third. Which actually seems to be working. I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's kind of silly and kind of stupid, but in the grand scheme of things, because I've watched Port Charles, and I've seen much more stupider ideas, like people being trapped in the painting, things of that nature. So in reality, I don't think it's the worst way about going about this story, but it's definitely not the best. I would say that much. I have a feeling that at some point Trina and Spencer are gonna hook up because when after Taggart calmed her down and Spencer learned from Victor that Esme's on the loose, he makes a beeline towards Trina. And, she's all like, oh, I gotta get out of here. I don't want to think about this anymore. I don't want to talk about this anymore. And I can't think of a better way of a distraction than, well, you know what. So I have a feeling that's a possibility. I feel like it's kind of a strong possibility at that point that those two wind up hooking up. I have a feeling we're gonna see Maggie in Port Charles at some point next month. Not next month, next week, because after Maggie told Dante and Sam, and they told Jordan and Laura that Ryan is his Esme's father, they find out that Ryan's on the loose and he escaped and stuff like that. So now Maggie's like, "Yo, listen, we gotta get to Port Charles now. We gotta do something." Victor, here's the thing about Victor. Victor seemed like he was all heartbroken, and he's trying to sit there and get access to Lucy's and Valentine's so-called body. Now, when Eileen came in there and started talking about, listen, I don't want blood on my hands, and what happened to Lucy and Valentine was terrible. Victor's like, yeah, well, it served a greater good. It served a greater good. His sacrifice was necessary for the greater good? Jesus Christ. I'm like, wow, bro, really? I mean, for a hot minute, I actually thought that he somewhat cared, but, yeah, for the greater good. Whatever. Now, one thing that should be noted is that when Trina is talking to Taggart, and Trina's like, I don't understand why you're not upset with Mom for, saying that she lied to you, she betrayed you, and everything like that. And Taggart's just, he's like, hey, listen, it takes two to sit there and kind of end a relationship sometimes. And I'm like, wow, that's really big of you. And he said he stayed because of Trina. He stayed in a relationship. He wanted to make it work because of Trina. I'm like, wow. I was just gonna say you are more stronger than most men. I was saying. Um, but Trina was like, no, did you ever suspect that I'm not your daughter? And he was like, no. And I think it was because of some comment that Taggart said when she was like 5 or 6, as far as go and get your daughter or something. But I'm just like, how is it possible that you didn't even sit there and think for a hot minute that that child may not be yours? And you know that she had an affair with somebody else. Like, I don't see how that's possible. And the thing is, I understand that love and commitment and family and stuff like that, can kind of blind you, but it can't blind you to that level of stupidity. I mean, this dude isn't dumb. I don't get that. He's a detective. Okay, and you never once thought to question her if that child is yours. I know for plot purposes, we just gotta just go with this, but you got two intelligent men, and both of them, when it comes to this situation, it's like they got rocks for brains. But again, plot over common sense and logic will always win out in the end, which is really sad. This is where we are. I think that's actually gonna do it. But yeah, GH was actually good so far. 3 for 3. YNR was good. Days were good, and of course GH was good. Now I don't know about B&B because I didn't watch it yet. But so far we got 3 out of 4, which is pretty good. Um, Now I didn't do a review on YNR, and I'm not gonna do a review on B&B, but I will watch it. So if you are a YNR fan, if you are a B&B fan, come to the live stream. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. There's a lot of times where there's other days where I don't have enough time to sit there and review all 4 of them, or I'm just really tired and I can only sit there and do a review on one of them, but I usually do watch all 3 of them. So definitely come through. It's a lot of fun. I do it 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Also, I have my membership going, and that is something that I do exclusively for members. Saturdays and Sundays, um, shout outs, exclusive videos. So definitely check that out in the join button. And yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.